What's up everybody, it's Luther coming to you today, bringing nothing but love and positivity to you. Before we jump into the video, I just want to talk about two things real quick. First thing being the song that I dropped. I would love if y'all check it out, PTMG. It's a little bit of a bop and a vibe. I would say it's pretty good myself. Y'all can get your own opinions on it if you listen to it. The second thing I want to talk about today is I want to talk about the podcast I did with Leo's Touch. Me and my homie did a really nice podcast talking about change. You're going to find out a lot of stuff about me, some viewpoints, and hopefully you'll grow your mind a little bit. What we're doing today is we're talking about anime, but not just any anime. We're talking about some of the best anime, some of the newest anime. We're talking about anime that anybody's starting to watch, anime outside of the Americanized stuff, you know, like watching Lil Aang, you know, watching some Blade shit, watching some Pokemon. Outside of that, like actual true blue anime. These are the best anime for anybody to start with. So in order to explain the why of the video, we gotta run things back to when I first started to watch anime. Now my first anime was actually a bit of a fluke. I actually ended up watching Sword Art Online, and I fuck with that shit. I fuck with that shit heavy. I know. Unpopular opinion. Wow. So then you might ask me, why am I making this video if your taste is so awful? Now hold up. I then watched Blue Exorcist and wasn't the biggest fan of that, but a lot of people like Blue Exorcist. So you might now be asking yourself, why the fuck are you trying to guide me with this? Because I actually have watched some creme de la creme anime that nobody can say suck. So if anybody here disagrees with the list that I'm about to give you, either your tastes suck or I am out of my mind and I'm just then putting out a list of anime. Because I have also dived into the random anime of Netflix way back in the day. I watched 3 random mecha anime and I had no idea what I was watching. So I'm also making this as a precautionary tale to not go diving balls deep into something that you know nothing about, because anime has so many subcategories, it's frightening. What made me decide on the criteria for the anime I selected are a few things. One of them being is they're newer, so they haven't been running as long, so they're shorter. Also, newer anime I find are written a little bit better, where they skip over a lot of filler episodes, or the filler episodes are actually really good. So they're a lot more captivating and easy to watch, opposed to the OG, because I didn't choose the OG because, like, if you don't vibe with them heavy, like I don't vibe with Dragon Ball really that big, but it's hard to tell anybody that fucks with Dragon Ball hard that, because that's a nostalgic anime. A lot of people enjoy those things because they grew up with them. They're something that you should get to later, not start with, because people who watch that shit grew up with that shit. You follow me? And that's why I'm not gonna recommend you, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Bleach, fucking Naruto. They're too big, they're too much, and you got way too much pressure to actually like those anime. So the list of the anime does not go numerically best to worst. I want to start with that. They are chosen for a few reasons. First of all, was the easiest to find. Like, this is all mostly on Netflix, so most people can watch this. Y'all motherfuckers got Netflix, don't you, right? I'm also trying to get you to do this too. So if you're watching this, you should go do this, because then why are you watching this? It means that you want to do this, okay? Now I have to say this because of the world we live in today. Now, before I say the list, this is my fucking opinion. So I do not really want to hear anybody come in here and be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Shut your fucking mouth. It's my opinion. Go watch another video or go make your own, bitch, if you don't agree. And now, for the list. Number 1 is 7 Deadly Sins. Alright, so like 7 Deadly Sins has a lot of great things to offer. So it has a really good set of characters. A lot of them are very relatable for a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. One of the prime reasons I picked this anime, okay? So second of all, it has a bit of a funky art style, but it's very smooth and it doesn't have that weird effect you'll see in some anime where it looks like really like computer generated. It tends to look very drawn throughout, okay? And on top of that, the last thing that I think is really dope about the anime is its goddamn fight scenes, and his character reveals are goddamn sick, okay? So like, when they reveal Escanor, which is a character you'll come to meet, Bon, don't like King, but some of y'all might like King. It's got some dope characters with some dope fight scenes, and they're all really worth watching. And if none of that catches your attention, there's also a talking pig involved. And what all anime needs, it's got that good plot. You know, Elizabeth looking goddamn fine in that anime. For Seven Deadly Sins, they also just dropped a new season, so I'm pretty sure you probably saw it getting advertised on Netflix. So that's where you can catch it, that's where you should watch it. Alright, so the second anime is a big personal favorite of mine. I'm talking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Not the other one, make sure it's Brotherhood. Hang on. Goddamn. So if you didn't get what's going on in the anime by the title, I'm going to tell you it has to do with alchemy, alright? So these two kids are obviously prodigies, that's why they're the main characters, but everybody else uses their own style and type of alchemy. Alchemy is mostly militarized, but the entire society sort of revolves around these things. They also have this stuff called like, like mail armor, whatever the fuck they call it. It's actually just like this robotic stuff. One of the main characters is actually primarily using that and actually plays a really deep part into it. It has this like old school kind of like, you know, industrial era feel to it, but it plays off really well because it has its own like vibe and tone and atmosphere to it as well. So this anime has got a lot of great things to offer, okay? So it's a little bit of an older anime, so its art style is a little more old school, so it's got more of a nostalgic feel, which might be a nice touch to some people. The best thing about this anime is that the side characters have an extreme amount of depth to them, even if they don't get a lot of screen time. So you have like, for example, Armstrong, which is a really good character that doesn't have a ton of screen time, but you understand who that character is, how he thinks and how he works. You also have Roy Mustang, who is a bit of a main character and he has a lot more screen time, but he has an intense few scenes that really like explain who that character is, who he values, and like how like that world operates and the attitude that people have. It's like some of the best storytelling I've ever really seen in an anime or anything in general. That's what really makes it one of the top anime for this list. Number 3 might be my personal favorite anime. I can tell you for a fact it's my girlfriend's favorite anime. We watched every episode together. Now I cannot stress to you enough how sublime this anime is, okay? So of course we're talking about My Hero Academia. Okay, so let me explain the world a little bit to you. So almost everybody has a quirk that's like some sort of power, but people who have really strong powers become one of two things: a hero or, guess what, a villain, okay? So the people are like battling back and forth all the time. So like the hero versus villain is like a daily occurrence, and it's like part of the social media, and like almost the entire society revolves around that stuff, where like there's this one hero, the main guy called All Might, and he's the pillar of everything, and he basically keeps society stable. And the story is basically an explanation of how he's losing his powers and how he's giving it to like the next generation, and who he's picked specifically, and how that generation is growing and becoming the heroes to take over and become the next pillars of society. It's absolutely thrilling. The fight scenes again in this anime are stellar, really, really good to watch. All of the animation is really crisp, really smooth, but also the scale of everything that's happening on is like, it escalates, but the way that it escalates, it's hard to tell that it's escalating, but when you reflect back and re-watch the anime, you're like, holy shit, things have like amped up to a whole new level. And you then also see that in the characters themselves. We've hit season 4, I think, on the anime itself, and what's really nice, oh, something fell, motherfucker, but what's really nice is to also watch the nuance of how they're changing the characters' appearance themselves. You're watching these characters get older, and you're watching their powers grow, and you're watching how the entire world is escalating up, and how you are being moved through the society, and how these kids are very literally seeing the world in their eyes. Absolutely amazing. Another really good part about this anime is the characters and their development. I challenge you to find one favorite character. Mine, Baku. Nani? Can't touch it. That is by far my favorite character, okay? But as the seasons continue, I keep on finding new characters that I fall in love with. Each character gets a little bit of their time in the spotlight, and you get to learn more and more about them as they grow in the classroom, and you get to have this fond connection with everybody. Not only is it done in the classroom with the main characters you're following, but the heroes and also the villains get their own backstories, and you get to understand their perspective from the world that they're looking at. Now, 4th is the one we're talking about that brought me all into it, Sword Art Online. This is a controversial one, so not everybody's going to agree with what I have to say here. But this is a good anime in my opinion for a few reasons. Its storytelling is really good. So anybody that's like fantasizing about how video games could be and what you want it to be, eat your fucking heart out. This is the shit that you're gonna get a boner for and how it's told. Those of y'all just starting out, the first season of this anime is a cut and paste story. You can go and watch that and be done with it in a day if you wanted to. So the anime jumps in with the main character putting on the VR called Nerve Gear, okay? The second season definitely is what makes this anime very controversial. For a lot of people don't like it. This is a romantic anime to a fairly large degree, even though of the type of story that it's telling and how it's told. So the second season is actually finishing off that story of that romantic part. I really enjoyed the story and like that whole romantic aspect of it. I'm not even gonna front. If y'all don't fuck with it, don't watch it. If you might like it, go check it out. So for the main plot of the story is what they're doing is they're trapping people inside of this video game. And the nerve gear that I mentioned earlier that they're wearing, if they die in any way, that fries their brain and they die. So their game becomes a reality, which is the very interesting story that they're telling through this anime, which is something that we can actually relate to today. Because the time that the story was told in was 2022, not too far from now. Alright, for the fifth and final on the list, I'm talking about Demon Slayer. Another big personal favorite, you know that's why it's on the list. This is only one season long so far, so you know that's why it's on the list. It's nice, it's short, it's easy. Unfortunately, hard to get a hold of. It's on Crunchyroll. So if you're gonna do this one, highly would recommend it, obviously, but it's also a commitment. First episode, this anime pops off with killing like this kid's entire family, bar his sister, and she turns into a demon. It then follows him becoming a demon slayer and the trials he has to face through that. This anime's storytelling is sublime. It gets you to attach to characters you only see for 5 minutes, while also creating like these most unrealistic characters that you need to succeed. It's a lot of fun with a very intense atmosphere. It really makes you have these like beautiful moments after this most gruesome and like intense fight scene. It has these quick shifts, but you're able to keep the pace with it at all times. It's probably one of the best anime I've seen in a long time, and I'm really excited to see the new seasons that come out. Alright, so I got a little bonus here for you. This is for the vets. So anybody watching this for like the guidance, ignore this. Vets, listen up, okay? Food Wars, must watch. If you haven't already, must watch. Maybe I sound ignorant now, okay? But trust me when I say this, Fire Force. Watch Fire Force. Just to recap, that was my list. All 5 of those, bangers and binge worthy. Once you start these, you're gonna be addicted to these anime. Trust me. These will probably stay on your top 5 for a long time, if for always. Trust me. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, or don't. I don't really care. I'm just doing me. Peace.